Nagatsi hinu had killed ang. My Haida name is Fox. Dang esh de goodnight lagang. I'm happy to see you. I'm Kelsey Thompson, otherwise known as Fox or Nagatsi. Over the coming weeks, I'm going to be doing an independent study in the critically endangered Alaskan Haida language under the guidance of Susie Edwardson, a native speaker as well as language project coordinator at the Sealaska Heritage Institute. In an effort to create greater access to the Indigenous languages that I've been fortunate to study, I've decided to share my language journey on YouTube in the hopes that it will encourage others. I'm often asked why I chose to study Alaskan Native languages. People living outside of Alaska don't usually understand the history of Alaska Natives, and non-natives are often uninformed about Indigenous cultures. I get a lot of comments like, what's the point? What good is it to study Indigenous languages? And my least favorite, but you're white. So before we get started on Haida, I really want to address some of these comments and questions to sort of reframe our thinking about language diversity. And so what's the point? Of all the social problems in our world, why should we bother to learn endangered languages? First of all, language is a carrier of culture. If we value cultural diversity, and we should, then we should value linguistic diversity. Meanings in one language can't always be directly translated to another language. So every language gives us a unique perspective on what it means to be human. I believe that we better understand our own experiences when we can see them from more than one perspective. So exposing yourself to new ways of viewing the world can be healing to the spirit, and it also promotes compassion and tolerance. People ask me what good is it to learn Haida? And I think it could be good for all of us. Haida people have a collectivistic society, meaning they help provide for one another through subsistence practices that include hunting, fishing, gathering natural foods, and creating crafts to that purpose. This mindset emphasizes the interdependence of humans and nature. I feel that in our time of climate change, it's important that we remember our responsibility as stewards of the earth, and that we strive to learn from cultures who've found ways to exist on this planet in a sustainable way. Haida happens to be an excellent example of this. By studying Haida or other Indigenous languages, we have the opportunity to reframe how we think about our communities and about the health of our environments. Finally, I am not Native. I was surprised, though, when I started my BA in Alaskan Native Studies to encounter people that seemed to think it was surprising or inappropriate for a white person to study Indigenous languages. If I were studying Japanese, I doubt very much if I would get the same attitude. Japanese would be easier for people to contextualize because of their familiarity with it, but it is no more ethnically relevant to me than Haida is. To me, the idea that we should only learn about our own cultures is narrow-minded. Living in Alaska, I wanted to better understand my community, their art, and their ways of viewing the world. And I am only capable of contributing to the preservation of Haida because I've taken the time to learn about Haida language and learn about the speakers of Haida. I hope you'll join me over the coming months in this journey to understand Haida language and etymology, and I hope you'll continue to support language preservation. Don't forget to ring the bell and subscribe if you want to hear about this. And I'll see you again. And take care of yourselves.